A very pleasant afternoon to our heartful chief guests, faculty members, research scholars, and students. I'm Neetu M, pursuing third year Bachelor's of Com. Hello. Are you audible, sir?
Yes, yes,
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
yes, yes.
A very pleasant afternoon to our heartful chief guests, faculty members, research scholars, and students. I'm Neetu M, pursuing third year Bachelor's of Commerce, Shift 1. Guru Sri Shantivijai Jain College for Women, Department of Commerce Shift 1 and Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC, in association with Young Indians and Young Upcoming Versatile Authors UVA, organizes 3 days international conference on the theme Innovative Drive on Digital Transformation and Financial Development in Global Markets. On behalf of our college, I would like to welcome you all to the valediction of the 3 days international conference. We would like to extend a warm welcome to our guests of honor, Mr. R. Narayana Mohan, Senior Partner Natarajan and Swaminathan, Chartered Accountants of Singapore, past Chairman of Singapore, Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, afternoon, and welcome.
Welcome.
Can I
Prayer,
start by? Yeah, go ahead.
yes, yes. Prayer is the key that unlocks all the storehouses of God's infinite grace and power. True to this, let us seek the Almighty's blessings before commencing the session. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. Now, may I request Dr. Shalini P. Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, to render a gracious welcome to our guests and to all the spectators. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon to our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Narayana Mohan, faculty members, and my fellow students. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 3 day international conference on the theme Innovative Drive on Digital Transformation and Financial Development in Global Market. On behalf of Guru Sri Shanti Vijay Jain College, I take this privilege to welcome you all for the validity session on green economy and disruptive technologies due to digital transformation. I express my gratitude to our management, our Honorable Secretary and Correspondent, Dr. Gautam P. Ved, sir. I welcome our energetic and beloved principal, Dr. M.K. Malati, ma'am. I would like to welcome our Head of Department of Commerce, Shift 1, Dr. Gayatri, and all our faculties of Commerce Department and delegates of various institutions. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Narayana Mohan, Senior Partner, Natarajan and Swaminathan, Chartered Accountants of Singapore. He was a past chairman of Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and was a past vice chairman of Singapore Business Federation. Mr. R. Narayana Mohan is a Bachelor of Commerce and qualified chartered accountant from India. Sir is also a fellow member of the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants, fellow of the Associate Chartered Certified Accountants UK, fellow member of CPA Australia, accredited tax advisor for income tax and GST Singapore. Mr. Narayana Mohan has been instrumental in setting up the numerous Indian companies in Singapore. His firm provides audit and tax services to more than 1,000 companies worldwide, including industry leaders like Mustafa and Spice Group. Mr. R. Narayana Mohan, social engagements with Singapore community span many fronts. His past appointments and accomplishments are as follows. Sir has been a chairman, co-chairman of membership committee Director and Chairman of Finance and Membership Committee, Honorary Treasurer and Member of Executive Committee, Member of IBR, Advisor India Club, Chairman of Tamil Language Council, Member of Management in Hindu Endowment Board, Treasurer of Singapore Indian Education Trust, Honorary Treasurer of Singapore Indian Association, Board of Trustee in Institute of Southeast Asian Studies, Vice Chairman of Singapore Business Federation, Finance Committee member of SBF, and much more. Mr. Narayana Mohan is one of the advisors of Tamil Pattimandram Kalai Kazhagam, Singapore. He has also been a treasurer and member of organizing committee in major social organizations across India. His current social community engagements are as an honorary auditor for the Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, the Hindu Center, Marwari Mitra Mandal, Kannada Sangha. He has also a state visit with the sixth president of Singapore to Mauritius and Maldives, and with seventh president of Singapore to Eastern Europe. We are happy to have you among us, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can I start my speech? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a great honor. Good afternoon. It's a great honor and pleasure to be with all of you on your international conference. And why I've chosen both the topics of green economy, which is the required information as on today for all the students. And also the second topic which I've taken up is about disruptive technologies due to digital transformation. Now, I'll first take up the topic. I will be grateful to the organization to be choosing me as one of the speakers. I'm grateful to all of you. And I go into the subject of green economy first. What is green economy? Green economy, I just want to sing a small, tell you an incident so that you can understand better. Louis Armstrong, one of the best singers in the world, which you all know about, I'm talking about 20 years back, he said, he started singing. I'm not saying what he said. He started singing, I see trees are green, I see skies are blue and clouds are white, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. This is what he was singing 20 years back. What has happened today, people started now cutting the trees and then constructing a lot of buildings, resulting in global warming. What has happened to the global warming? When the global start warming, all the destructive things happening in the world. You all now seeing in the world, there are a lot of fires happening in Australia, Europe, and most of the countries in the world, which are not being expected of any country to have because of the global warming is all things are happening. You're also seeing catastrophic of various floods, which has happened in Turkey, Japan, recently devastating floods at Pakistan. All these things are happening due to global warming. Why global is warming? Because you know pretty well the plants and trees always comes out with a lot of oxygen. The earth, what is happening is due to manufacturing, due to using fossil fuel, you are emitting a lot of carbon dioxide. When the carbon dioxide exceeds the amount of amount of oxygen which comes out of the trees, the global become warming. When the global become warming, all these catastrophes started happening in the world. So what has happened is United Nations has come into has put together all the government. They have got a Paris Agreement whereby to keep the global warming below 2 centigrade. What has happened is this is their ambition, and then go up to 1.5 degree centigrade they would like to have. These are all the wish list. They are meeting time and again every year to see that how we change the world and to make this as a green economy for every country to follow. Means what you are expected is to cut down the emission of carbon on each country and each of the industries which each country is running, whereby you have a net zero emission in each country, which is an ambition. They are also planning to have a zero emission. Countries started saying by 2030, 2040, 2050. Different countries in the United Nations started saying these are the limits in which we want to control the global warming and make it as net zero emission. So what I want to see is what Louis Armstrong said, what a wonderful world which we should see in the years to come, when all these people started changing their way of doing things and making it the global more livable for everybody. Now, what the governments are all doing, the governments are all coming out with how do we greenlight, how do you come out of the fossil fuel, how do you go into the energy like solar energy, hydroelectric power, and then go into wind power, whereby we create more of reducing the carbon emission and increasing and not polluting the earth in the world in which all of us are living. Some of the countries are also in the UN when they are meeting, they are also thinking of most of the countries which are affected because of the global warming. They will try to provide losses and damages to them. They want to contribute to that. That's all going to be. They had a discussion on global climate change meet, which has happened in Glasgow during the last year. They have decided to come out with various changes in policies, and each one has made promises about when they have to have a zero emission. And also, they are going to meet in Egypt in November to continue to have the same thinking of reducing the global warming, whereby each country can contribute the way in which they can do it. Now, coming into countries like Singapore, what they are moving is Sembawang Corporation, which has got the biggest investment in India in 2.6 gigawatt of electricity manufacturing in two super critical coal-fired plants. They are planning to sell off to Oman's company with the intention of moving from brown to green energy, green situation. What they mean is it is moving from brown to green transformation for the purpose of moving into renewable energy ecosystem. So what countries are doing is banks are now stop funding for coal related projects. Some of the banks in Singapore said very clearly, in future we are not going to provide any more funding for for coal related projects, so that they want to contribute to the global green ecosystem. Same case, what has happened is another biggest companies in the world called BHP, one of the biggest miners in the world, having bigger mines in Australia, Brazil and Mexico. What they are planning also, they are also planning to move from iron ore, copper and metal and all these mining things. It is difficult to move. It's not easy to do it. But what they can think of doing it is to make most of these green energy transmission, trying to do green energy transmission. If you can ask me what you mean by green energy transmission, is that I want to tell you about the manufacturing. They're also talking about green manufacturing in the world. What do you mean by green manufacturing? It addresses manufacturing processes that have less impact on the environment, such as using renewable energy, producing zero waste, and reducing water consumption. So by doing these type of things, they try to avoid and reduce the carbon emission and then make the economy a green economy for that country, for the company and for the country in the world. Well, this is the way each country want to contribute. Now, what has happened is, as I was telling you earlier, when we are going to meet again in COP27, they are also planning to support, which I was telling you earlier, about countries which are going to lose out because of this devastation of flood, of fire. Countries wanted to contribute. Denmark has said that we would like to contribute towards the losses suffered by these countries by budgeting out in their budget to provide for financing for these type of losses in future. the companies also issuing, the Singapore government has started issuing green bonds, means their intention is to uh, avoid all these fossil fuel type of investments and move on into green energy. So each country is trying to contribute to the extent where they want to move into net zero emission by 2030, 2040, and 2050. The best example what I can talk about is also companies are also financing at low interest rate to make people to move into electric vehicles, because the emission of the carbon dioxide will not be there, or very very less when compared to the normal cars which uses diesel or your petrol. The other way of, even they are also talking about, if you're going to use more air cons, if you use 7 hours of air con, which leads to 50 kg of carbon dioxide emissions. If you use the fan for 7 hours, it leads to 5 kg of carbon dioxide emission. Now you know the difference. So if people start shifting, each human beings contribute to this, which will lead to various benefits for the emission of carbon dioxide and by saving the earth from global warming. The very interesting thing what I want to talk about, I recently read that there are plans for most of the countries in the world to change the syllabus. What do you mean by changing the syllabus? See, you might have ESG courses available, degree or diploma courses available globally. I'm not talking about it. The intention of most of the universities in the world are to have include in the syllabus the basic things what the students should know about, which is about global warming, food security, cyber security, and then you are talking about fintech, edutech, medutech, metaverse, renewable energy, digital asset, digital economy, carbon credit, carbon tax, carbon washing, carbon exchange, green manufacturing, green economy, and sustainability investments in the world. So these are the subjects which are not in the textbooks for people to learn in a general course what they are offering in the universities. So the whole world is looking into to see that they go into a situation where the syllabus are entirely changed, or any student are aware about these important things, what they should know about global warming. And they also can contribute to reduce the global warming, to make it a livable city for everybody in the world. What is happening in Europe is that Europe is already started having a standard set aside for companies to disclose about ESG, which means environmental, social, and governance. They have to have a report. All listed companies are supposed to publish, but not only about corporate governance, they should also publish an ESG report. Nowadays, they also started, the standard has come to include sustainability report also to be included, because the ESG is concerned with people, profit, and planet. Because how it is going to affect the stakeholders has to be mentioned by respective companies. They should take responsibility for ESG reporting also. And all of the investments each company is going to make should also take into account the ESG responsibility, what they have in making the investments. Now, the Luxembourg Stock Exchange has also started a Luxembourg Green Exchange. What they are doing is they are also making out the green bonds which various companies are issuing, accepting investments where they are going to make investment on ESG related projects, and also investments which goes to improve sustainability investments which lead to have a better living environment, and also it's also called green bonds to enable people to make their contribution to make the earth livable for everyone. The Singapore exchange also trying to give carbon credit. What do you mean by carbon credit? If a company is excessively coming out with carbon dioxide, to offset the excess emission of the carbon dioxide, they can go and buy carbon credit to offset the carbon excess emission they have done through the company. So buying a carbon credit, you offset and you make your contribution to the community and to the society. They also have set up a task force for related financial disclosures in which every company has to disclose about ESG and also sustainability situations. Now, I would like to move on to the next topic about disruptive technologies due to digital transformation, which is one of the very interesting topic, which all of you are very keen to know about it, and which is also up the topic of the day for discussion. What is disruptive technology? When TV came to my house, I forgot how to read books. When the car came to my doorstep, I forgot how to walk. When I got the mobile in my hand, I forgot how to write letters. When computer came to my house, I forgot spelling. When the AC came to my house, I stopped going out under the tree for cool breeze. When I stayed in the city, I forgot the smell of mud. By dealing with banks and cards, I forgot the value of money. When with the smell of perfume, I forgot the fragrance of fresh flowers. When with the coming of fast food, I forgot to cook traditional cuisines. Always running around, I forgot how to stop. And lastly, when I got WhatsApp, I forgot how to talk. What I mean by all these things is all happening due to disruptive technologies. Okay, what is a disruptive technology? When father, mother, and son are sitting in the dining table, they are not talking to each other. They are sending messages in their mobile phones, smartphones. Exchange of information is through not talking to each other face to face. The traditional way of meeting people and talking has gone. Now they are trying to do it all because of digitization, and it is very good. That's a right. The new way of doing things. It has made our life easier, faster, better to do our things, and it is good to have more of disruptive technologies to make our life easier. The disruptive technologies also has created a lot of jobs. Now, what they always say is some of jobs erased, some of new jobs created. That's why they always say learn, unlearn, and relearn. They also say that continuous lifelong learning is very important in life. That I always promote and tell everybody keep on reading something every day so that the changes which are happening in technology will make you to understand and be contributing to the not only to the economy, it's also going to be useful for you to have a good living. The disruptive technologies also has created new jobs, I was telling you. Now you have got Chief Digital Officer, Chief Sustainability Officer, Chief Investment Officer, Chief Technology Officer, and Chief Content and Communication Officer. Previously, we were only knowing about two things, Chief Financial Officer and Chief Executive Officer. Now, so many new jobs have come because of the various responsibilities it carries, and also it needs the domain expertise and specialization to carry out the job successfully. Now, the digital economy, due to the advancement of technology, due to digitization, you have not seen the world's largest taxi company, Uber, which doesn't own any vehicle. It's all possible because of digitization. The world's most popular media owner, Facebook, creates no content. The most valuable retailer, Alibaba, has no inventory. The world's largest accommodation provider, Airbnb, owns no real estate. If you look at Grab and most of the fare hiring taxis, they don't own any of that. They have an app which enables you to get all these facilities due to digitization in the world. So what is interesting to tell you is something interesting is happening. More than an estimated 70% of new value created in the economy over the next decade will be based on digitally enabled platform business models. However, 40% of the world's population is 8 billion nearly, remains unconnected to the internet world. So 47% of the population is not yet connected to the internet world. So certainly in future, the chances of them being connected is going to be there. The very interesting thing I want to tell you also, there are a lot of economies in the world. Now, if you look at the Fortune 500 in the past, usually oil companies, Ford, Motors, IBM, all these companies will be in the top list. Today, which are the companies are in the top list? The companies which are having digitization, which is like Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook are leading technology companies in the world. Very surprisingly, all these capitalization of market capitalization of all these companies will exceed more than $1 trillion. When I say it exceeds $1 trillion, if you look at the top, leave the top 10 companies in the world, the economies of most of the countries in the world after 10 will be $1 trillion. So all these companies are companies which are managing funds or managing companies in tech industry are equivalent to the managing of some of the economies in the world, which we haven't dreamt of in the past years. So the future of big companies in the world is going to be all tech companies in the world. Now, another interesting thing which I wanted to tell you is also that the Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 has come. Web 1 is where all of you know about. The version is allowed for the widespread dissemination of information in the fledgling days of the world when the World Wide Web was there, with less user interaction and content generation. That was in Web 1. When we move to Web 2, centralized platforms like Facebook, Google, and Twitter with user interaction and content generation. Now we are in Web 3. So, Web 3, what is happening? Web 3 is associated with internet services and mobile app existing on decentralized blockchain technology. I will come to you what you mean by decentralized blockchain technology. It often involves a broad spectrum of emerging technologies such as cryptocurrency, augmented and virtual reality, metaverse, and NFT, unique blockchain-based tokens that which cannot be replicated. So what it leads to is metaverse. What is metaverse? Metaverse is where Metaverse is where you imagine and do things in the world. In Singapore, a studio is providing not only the virtual marriage you can take place, they also would like to have a metaverse marriage. What do you mean by metaverse marriage? Suppose you would like to love your father and mother, and if they not happen to be there for your marriage, if they are no more, you can create them and bring them into metaverse to make them to be along with you throughout the marriage and be part of your marriage. These imaginations are possible in the metaverse world. Another interesting thing is in the metaverse world, what is happening is that the people are also buying and selling pieces of land. What I mean buying and pieces of land is called, there is a website called Central Land, where you can buy virtual world of land in the digital format. The same way, there is another website called Sandbox, where you can also buy virtual world, both launched respectively in 2017 and 2012. And a lot of people are buying land in these virtual websites, which is metaverse, buying all this land, and they are very happy and proud of owning this land. Because of the Web3 enabled, decentralized, where information is stored, it is difficult to duplicate, difficult to totally cyber secured information. The advancement of also I was also talking about NFT. What is NFT? Non-fungible tokens, which you might have heard about it. People now, it's a graphic interface format where lot of digitized information is stored. Pictures in the digital format is purchased and sold. Um, NBA, the basketball in the US, they call it Top Shots, is digitized and sold in the website. You can go to the NBA Top Shot website to to see how people buy and sell these digitized um, NFTs. And if you wanted to know more about the NFTs and you want to create your own NFTs and sell your own NFTs, go to OpenSea. That's a website which facilitates you to not only create your own NFTs and also make you to sell these NFTs in the OpenSea application platforms. In order to find out what is my domain name will cost in an NFT domain, to my surprise, Mohan.crypto will cost me US $25,000. If I would like to own an NFT domain, it will cost me, if I want to buy Mohan.coin, not unreleased yet, but I do not know what price they are going to tell me. I looked for Mohan.wallet will cost US $25,000. Also, Mohan.bitcoin will also cost $25,000. Now, what is the what is happening is I wanted to touch about the Bitcoin also. Now, a lot of people used to ask me whether I can buy a Bitcoin and make an investment and I will be successful. The Bitcoin is possible because of the blockchain technology, not only the blockchain technology due to Web3, which I was talking about. Now, what is happening is that people wanted to know, banks are afraid to have an interaction with these type of applications and websites which deal in cryptocurrencies. You know pretty well there are few websites in India which allows you to buy and hold the bitcoins and make you to sell bitcoins. There are more than 17,000 bitcoins in the world, of which only top 10 bitcoins are very famous. Start from Bitcoin, Ethereum. You have also Tether, Binance Coin, Solana, Cardano, US dollar coin, XRP, Terra, Polkadot. These are the 10 top bitcoins in the world. Some other countries in the world also started using Bitcoin as their official currency. Puerto Rico government announced that they're very near to the US. They were using a US dollar as the medium of exchange in the country. They said that we will move to Bitcoin. Some of my friends started asking me how these countries buy and sell. If somebody wants to buy a vegetable, how we will, or any provisions in a store, how it is possible for you to buy and sell. The easier, I will tell you, make your life easier to understand. If Bitcoin is the medium of exchange, what you have to do is you have to create an electronic wallet. So a lot of applications, you have to go to a terminal, open a e-wallet, then from e-wallet to e-wallet, money is transferred. So the Bitcoin, if it is used in Puerto Rico, El Salvador, the reason is the money moves from e-wallet to e-wallet. Then you can ask me, each Bitcoin is worth $20,000 today, which was 60,000. Usually Bitcoin has gone through the roller coaster in its pricing. If you ask me, how do I buy and sell? Usually the Bitcoin, when you buy in an e-wallet to e-wallet, it has got 8 decimals. Means even $1 can come into a decimal in the Bitcoin. So it moves from one e-wallet to the another wallet. Means one buyer to a seller. When you want to make a payment, you transfer it. Bitcoin, I always say that it's an invisible currency. It is like God, where we pray to various gods. All the Hindus have their own way of defining how each lord will look. The same way Bitcoin is shown as a gold coin with B on that. See, it is not, no one has seen the Bitcoin, no one has seen the God, but we have a lot of trust in God. The same way, when a Bitcoin which is shown as yellow gold coin with B in that is not the actual Bitcoin, but it moves from one e-wallet to the another e-wallet. Now I move on to the I talked to you about metaverse. It's all happening because of digitization. This is the main topic of the day. I also want to talk to you about uh, now because of computing has become faster computing, which is the future computing of the world. How quantum computing has come now. How quantum computing is working. Now, normally the basic computers work on 0 and 1, quantum computing working on qubit. What is qubit? Qubit is a combination of 0 and 1. And you can ask me, what do you mean by quantum computing? Why it differs from the basic computers? Do we need basic computers in future, or we only need quantum computing? I will answer you all these things. Quantum, see, you have electric trains which goes at 60 kilometers, 80 kilometers speed. You also have seen a lot of big electric faster trains in the world. In Japan, electric trains goes at 430 kilometers speed. In China, also a lot of electric trains are there. In India, also goes at 450 kilometers. The best thing is that in Hong Kong, it is connected to the entire China. So you want to go to various destinations from China, from Hong Kong, you want to go to Beijing, Shanghai. You take trains which takes you at 400 kilometers speed and take you to all these places in 5 hours, 8 hours journey. So that is quantum computing. The normal computing is the normal electric train what you have. Then you can ask me, do you need both? See, to do our normal computer work, what we do, the normal electric train is enough. That means the normal computing is enough. If you want to do a lot of research, now we had COVID. COVID has come out with the medicine quickly in 1 year. It's all possible because of quantum computing. What exactly the advantage of quantum computing is that you can do the research faster and quicker. You want to discover a particular medicine. So if you're going to use a quantum computing, it will be in the position to do a drug development, analyzing of various combination can be done faster and quicker in a quantum computing, which enables you to do which drug discovery which would have taken 10 years in the past can be done in 10 days or in 1 month, because the various combination of testing your molecules or testing various researches you want to take up can be done faster and quicker in a quantum computing. Now, battery development. You can ask me, what do you mean by battery development? Electric vehicles are using battery for electric cars. The major components in an EV is the battery. So now, what is happening today? We are in the infant stage, whereby it takes time for you to charge. It takes 45 minutes to charge, or it can go only up to 400 kilometers at one charge. So now, by doing a research on the quantum computing, you can come to a conclusion to make an electric charger which will charge in 15 minutes, and it can go 2,000 or 3,000 miles at a stretch. And global logistics also needs quantum computing. Artificial intelligence also needs quantum computing. And cryptography, where we are talking about cryptocurrency and cryptographic, we also need that. So the advantage of quantum computing is enormous. A quantum computing will cost nearly $100 million. A lot of countries can afford to buy, a lot of companies can afford to buy, to see that they take the advantage of a quantum computing. Now I move on to the next issue about, I told you about metaverse. I also talked to you about fungible tokens. Now I would like to talk to you the advantage of e-commerce. E-commerce, because of digitization, companies now, you look at most of the top companies in the world, everybody, Amazon, Alibaba, all of them are successfully running due to e-commerce, and most of the top tech companies are using this digitization to see that they reach the world. Now, e-commerce, there are two types of companies are using e-commerce in two ways. One is they always have an online shop, a brick and mortar shop, and an online shop. So if you go to H&M in London and then you go and look for a t-shirt, you buy a t-shirt, and then if you feel that the t-shirt is not, the color is not good to you, and then you want to change it, you come to Singapore or come to Chennai, and then go into their online and tell them that you would like to change, as they will ask you to return, and then ask you to get a new shirt also. If you go on a brick and mortar store and tell them I would like to have this size, if it is not available in the store, they'll ask you to go online through e-commerce and purchase the same. So these are the advantages happening because of e-commerce development. And also, what is happening is there are a lot of things happening in e-commerce. You can study that in the websites, where how far, even if you want to see the variety of sarees, you call various top saree shops which has got e-commerce websites. They will give you a separate video presentation, make beauties to wrap up these sarees, to show you also what these type of sarees can do, how it looks, and then whether if you are keen to buy, you can go online to purchase these type of sarees also. Now, the advantage of e-commerce I already explained to you, and it has got a 24/7, and they also say that your competitor is click away, because if you are going to if you wanted to go to another website, you just do a click and move to the other shop, other saree shops. So the competition is there. When I used to talk about entrepreneurship and e-commerce, one lady stood up and asked me a question: how do I promote my business in e-commerce? Immediately I advised her this: you may be running this business for 2-3 years. A lot of your good satisfied customers would have given reports. So ask them to give you a Google review, or ask them to give you an email message which you can publish in your e-commerce website to enable others to understand and then follow and become customers for you also. Those who are going to visit the websites will be in a position to take advantage of all your customer satisfaction, and also the rating is happening today. So thereby they give you out of 5, 4.5 makes people to visit your website also. Now, cashless payments are going on also. All of you know about it. It's all because of digitization. And very interesting to say that a beggar in India is wearing a QR code around his neck for anyone who wishes to make cashless donations. Also, he is having an e-wallet to tell people, if you want to transfer the money, you can also transfer the money to me. I am not joking. I'm showing you the picture of that guy who is begging also with a QR code. Now, flying taxis also have come, all because of the advancement of technology. It's a disruptive technology. As I was telling you, Dubai is trying to have the flying taxis as quick as possible. It doesn't need a landing strip. It can take off instantaneously and also take people who are around in the city. Now, also drones have come because of all this advancement of disruptive technologies, whereby now you know pretty well in the Russia-Ukraine war, lot of drones are used, whereby the places which are difficult to go, they send drones. For fighting people also use drones to see that the fire is come to an end. So the advantage of drones are enormous. It is also used in logistic industries. Here also I want to tell you about 3D printing which has come, which is also a greatest advantage on various advancement of the human life by using a 3D printing technology. Now, also you know about the advantage of the digitization is where the movie theaters now move to OTT also. Over the top, whereby now you don't have to send films. In the olden days, they have to rewind the film before the next show starts. There was a huge amount of work is involved. Now the transmission of all these things taken place over the top, whereby a passcode is given to access through the computers to see any of these movies in the theaters, and also you pay a subscription and download from Netflix and various Disney and various channels by sitting in your house also. So if people are not finding theaters, it is easy for producers to sell the film to a OTT operator, and also the film can be screened on their subscription model. Now I move on to the application. Also, the digitization application also useful to all your Zoom meetings. When the COVID time, all of you have seen that most of you are using Microsoft Teams, Zoom meetings, Cisco WebEx, Zoho meetings, and also Google Meet. Now, people also started working remotely in a hybrid format. So remote working has also started, all because of digitization. I was talking to a person in Delhi, and I started asking, what is your staff strength? She said, I am operating from Noida, and my staffs are sitting, 60 of them, throughout India. So people are not sitting in one place. People are spreading throughout the world, even across the countries. For our office also, people are sitting in other parts of the world, sitting and operating and accessing our computers to see that the back office work is done in a remote area. These are all possible due to the digitization which are taking place and making our life easier, faster, and better. I now move on to digital banking, digital currency, and digital economy. These are all the topics I spoke for 1 hour. Each one of that I spoke for 1 hour. Digital banking, now what has happened is banks started to cater to those SMEs, unserved, underserved customers. So some of the banks might have felt that due to the cost of administration, they don't want to take anyone as a customer. So now the digital bank doesn't have any headquarters, doesn't have any bank operations. What they allow you to do is to open a bank account, and they start providing most of the banking services to digibanks. I can agree with you, most of the banks have already started providing internet banking and other services, but only a part of it is done. But the digibanking, where the whole world has started giving you digital banking licenses, with bear in mind that they don't have offices or branches in the country. And they are also very clearly given the norms whereby they have to cater to all these SMEs and everybody in the world who are in need of digital banking. What is digital currency? They call CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. Your own currency is becoming digital. What China is trying to do is they want to put the yuan in a digital format. In the sense, it's already done it, whereby the money is moving from one wallet to other wallet. Payments are made by using mobile phones. The same official currency is now moved into central bank digital currency called CBDC, whereby the currencies is used in a digital format. India is trying to convert also into another format of assisting people to have digitization is CBDC. So every country in the world are trying to do CBDC so that it is more convenient for people. They don't have to carry money. They don't have to lose the wallet. Money is transferred from one wallet to the other wallet. What is digital economy? Digital economy is nothing but what you do is every information is digitized. If you want to access, file the application, it's going to e-governance. That will also go to filing of the forms, getting the reply, and then in Singapore you have a SingPass, like you have an Aadhaar card. That Aadhaar card access is given to everybody. So what happens is you go in to do your banking, payment, all the activities are done through computers, through mobile phones. That's become a digital economy. So these are all happening. Now, when I was talking about cryptocurrencies, there was a problem facing by banks to get the transfer from a digital currency wallet to the banks. Now the suggestions have gone, you have a digital ID attached to the digital wallet, so that the banks can also understand the identity of the people who are transferring the money. Also, you have a KYC can be done out of the digital identity which is being attached to the digital wallet to enable banks to understand and carry out a KYC and makes the transaction made with ease and convenience. Why the banks are interested in KYC? The reason is that the whole world is more concerned on anti-money laundering and countering of financing of terrorism. So OECD countries are coming out with various regulations, and then they are also coming out with a single uniformity of tax of companies in the world. They want to have a minimum tax of 15%, so there is no profit shifting. They call it POEM, place of effective management. There is no BEEP. BEEP is base erosion and profit shifting are avoided. Now, even through the digital wallet, having the digital identity, it is easy for them to understand and move things at ease. And the KYC is also looked after by banks. Now, I move on to the next issue about various developments are happening in the world on the digitization, which you can know by getting into. What is interesting thing is that today, if you ask someone else something, they immediately try to Google to find out rather than trying to learn from others. So the knowledge they try to get from Wikipedia or Google, which is a good thing. When I was giving a talk one time about Russell Kaima, one of the guys who was sitting there immediately Googled to find out what are the famous things in Ras Al Khaimah. Ras Al Khaimah is one of the emirates of the UAE, which is famous for manufacturing of tiles. One of the world's largest manufacturer of tiles is in Ras Al Khaimah. So when I was giving a talk, he stood up and said, I know about Ras Al Khaimah. Ras Al Khaimah is one of the biggest manufacturer of tiles. What I'm saying is it's very interesting to note that the Google can give you all the information what you want to know about, which was not available for a lot of people in the past, like the mobile phones. Before I conclude, I want to tell you a very interesting thing, a few things which are very interesting for you to know about before I conclude on this topic today. It was nice and interesting to address all of you, and I wish all of you to have the best life. What is important is that I want to tell you a few things. Please listen to that carefully. You adapt to that, you will be very successful in your life. Always be proactive. What I mean by proactive is that you may be very intelligent and talented. If you are not proactive, it is difficult for you to get business. Business will not come and sit on your lap. You have to go and look for business. So you have to be always proactive. And then improve your soft skill. What I mean by improve your soft skill is that the communication. Try to improve your communication. Communication will not improve unless you read and read either on the website or on the newspaper on a physical format. So reading is important. Knowledge, reading is knowledge, which gives you confidence in you. So the best thing is that try to improve your soft skill, communication skill, and use common sense at all times. The second important thing which I want to tell you about the Chinese proverb, put your first step. The Chinese proverb says, if you want to go 1,000 miles, put your first step. So that is most important, so that you start your journey, you can end up your journey comfortably. Third one I want to tell you about a Tamil proverb. What is important is that Indre sai adu Nandre sai. What is the meaning of it is that do it now and do it right. The last one I want to tell you is lifelong learning is very important. What I mean by lifelong learning is, as I was telling you, the technology is changing. It's become a disruptive technology. It is good for everybody to move on to the disruptive technology. So always learn, unlearn, and relearn. As I was telling you earlier, lifelong learning is very important. Now I conclude my talk by giving you a simple small story. One guy, what he did is he lighted up 5 candles. After he lighted up the 5 candles, He decided to go out and then come back. When he went out, the door, because of the wild wind, the door opened up and the candles started going away. When the candle started going away, what has happened is this guy came back and tried to close the door. After he closed the door, only one was staying alive, fought with all this, the wind, and still alive and burning. All the four has gone out. Then this each candle has got a name. So this my friend, what he did, he started asking the candle, "What's your name?" The candle said, "First, use me to lighten up all the other four candles." So immediately what he took out the candle and started lighting the first candle. Immediately he has the curiosity to know what is the name of the first candle. The first candle said, "My name is hard work." Then he lightened up the second candle. He asked the candle, "What is the name?" The second candle said, "My name is honesty." Then he lightened up the third candle and asked the name, "What's your name?" The candle said, "Integrity." Then he lightened up the fourth candle. The candle said, "My name is sincerity." So after he's lightened up the candle he was holding in his hand, he looked at it and asked, "What's your name?" It said, "Self-confidence." Always have self-confidence in you. You will be very successful in your life. With that, I conclude my speech. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
Jain College for Women. Thank you, sir.
Thank
GSS Jain
you.
College for Women deems it as an honor to felicitate our guests with a memento of appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving is a time of togetherness and gratitude. May I call upon Dr. Gayatri Madam, Head Department of Commerce, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Neetu. Good evening to one and all present here. Today, I feel incredibly honored and privileged to propose vote of thanks for this 3 days international conference on the theme Innovative Drive on Digital Transformation and Financial Development in Global Markets, held from September 2028 to 30th September 2022. On behalf of our department, I would like to thank our beloved Principal Madam, Dr. M.K. Malati, and Honorable Secretary and Correspondent Dr. Gautam Sivai, Sir, for giving such an opportunity and guidance and making this conference a successful one. Therefore, I want to extend a warm welcome, a warm regards, and heartily thanks to our respectable chief guest of today, Mr. R. Narayana Mohan, Senior Partner, Nadrajan and Swaminathan, Chartered Accountants of Singapore, past Chairman of Singapore Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, for his informative speech. Thank you, sir. Once again, I would like to grab the opportunity and thanks to our special guest, Dr. Mr. R. Narayana Mohan, and other honorable delegates, Mrs. Raji Iyer, Appreciation, COO, Melbourne, Australia, Network Office, US and Germany, Sri Rishidev Ratan Ji, Director and CEO of Content Lab, Founder CEO of Pondu Private Limited, Co-Chair Branding, Young Indians Chennai Chapter. Mr. Rushal P, Senior Specialist, Kovai and Co, for their gracious presence and make this conference a successful one. I also want to thank all the respected delegates for taking this valuable time out and ensuring their presence here. I also would like to thank all the enthusiastic participants of the various sessions that as a college, along with the other colleges and universities, we feel enlightened and believe that we have got to learn many things from this conference. Words will fall short of describing how much knowledge we would have derived from this conference and important networks we would create. Last but not the least, I want to extend a vote of thanks to our organizing team, respected staff, and from the making this event happen so elegantly. I also cannot overlook the efforts of the volunteers and the students who gave their best and worked dedicatedly for this conference. I hope we, the Department of Commerce, continue to work like this and organize such events in the future for the betterment and upliftment of our students. Best regards. Thank you, sir, once again for this for
Thank you.
this presence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.